I am so full.
I'm still running off my Black Friday high.
Black Friday high?
You know, the trampling of the innocents and trying to get deals on TVs, the huge.
Oh, so nothing out of character for you yet.
Nope, but at least I got a good deal on a sock-themed advent calendar.
You see, I always open them all on one day anyways, so...
Me too, that's why I bought like 12 of them.
Hello, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier entertainment news show. I'm your host, Tyler Landis.
And I'm Anastasia Scott.
This week, we're talking about the pitfalls of capitalism.
Starting with Black Friday, yay.
More like Cyber Monday.
That failure of a day, there's no actual deals anymore.
So, there's no real deals?
Oh God, what is wrong with you? You're the reason the show's gonna get canceled.
I do what I can to add my flair.
Logan might be the quickest way to cut you off. Here's Logan Lewis with his take on those capitalist pigs.
Lion King, Toy Story 4, Jumanji, It, Beauty and the Beast. These are just some of the notable reboots/remakes that have either been released or are going to be released. Some of these re-entries have been well received, others have not. Some have even been shunned completely. But do you know what they all have in common? They're gonna make money. No matter what people say or what people claim that they're gonna do, these franchises will make money. We all have to realize one thing: these studios don't give a damn about us. The movie community is quite a vocal bunch, and rightfully so. We've had so many train wrecks pushed into our face that we didn't want, stories we didn't want remade be remade anyway, and movie studios making exactly what we don't want. You wanna know why big movie studios continue to do this? Because no matter what they do, we will pay to see their product. We're all guilty of this. I know I am. I hate the product that the WWE is putting out. Hey Logan, did you know that wrestling is fake? Whoa, really? A magic zombie man that can teleport and sleeps in a coffin isn't real? I had no idea. But still, I watch it. I watch it because I'm too lazy to truly boycott it. That's how everyone is with their favorite franchises. A prime example of this is Toy Story 4. This franchise doesn't need a fourth movie. And the premise presented in the trailer is dumb as rocks. A talking spork? Really? That franchise that has brought everyone to their knees with some of the best characters and storylines the world has ever seen is focusing on a talking freaking spork? It's ridiculous. Most of you agree with me, but most of you will still give your money to Pixar and see this film. You don't want this movie, you don't want to support this movie, but you're going to, and that's the problem. To be fair, a lot of these remakes have been great. It was one of my favorite movies of 2017, and the new Lion King looks incredible. But instead of building new original stories and new characters for us to fall in love with, these big studios are pumping out remakes. It's a get-rich-quick scheme, and we are all suckers. I want original characters, I want original plots, but we won't get it unless we actually boycott these remakes. Will it happen? Will we get these studios to stop the re-entries? Absolutely not. A small little boy like me doesn't have the voice big enough to reach the world and make that change. But I'm addressing the problem, and addressing the problem is the first step to making a change. I hope that if you agree with me, that you'll start to crave original stories more, and shame studios who don't develop new ideas. Creating a story and characters that everyone will love is difficult, but that struggle to create new ideas is what makes characters and plots great. We shouldn't make one success and milk it to death. We should be constantly challenging ourselves. The more we challenge ourselves, the better we'll be. That's my probably nonsensical rant this week. I'm Logan Lewis. Thank you for listening to the rambles of a madman. Now back to the lovely hosts.
Thank you, Logan. That was a thrilling segment.
But I think his showmanship was lacking.
No. He was the greatest, even on par with Wolverine.
Wolverine?
Yeah, him and his group of misfits, you know, the X-Men.
Wait, our pun train was for The Greatest Showman, right?
It was? I just always see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
He'll always be P.T. Barnum to me.
Oh, P.T. Barnum was an awful person. He was a big ol' meanie, but the movie's good, I guess.
And here with her reimagined review of Greatest Showman is Abby Perry. Abby?
The Greatest Showman Reimagined recently came out. As someone that loved the movie and original soundtrack, I was very excited to give it a listen. I wasn't disappointed with what I heard, but I also wasn't overwhelmingly thrilled. So let's dive in. The Greatest Show was covered by Panic at the Disco, and the bonus version was covered by Pentatonix. These two versions were absolutely amazing, especially Panic at the Disco's version. Both versions were of equal, if not greater quality compared to the original. Never Enough was covered by Kelly Clarkson. Again, I was blown away. She used her powerful voice to bring a new style to the song. I was not disappointed. She has such a powerful range, and she really belts it out. Again, this song compares very well to the original. I can say the same for a few of the other songs. A Million Dreams was covered by Pink, and she did great. Her daughter did the reprise, and it sounded amazing as well. Sarah Bareilles covered Tightrope, and Zac Brown Band covered From Now On. Both songs turned out very well. I did not, however, feel the same about several of the other songs. Come Alive was covered by Years and Years, and it was simply nothing special. It was also covered by Craig David, and again, nothing too special. Now, I didn't really like the song to begin with, and maybe that's why, but it just didn't sell it for me. This Is Me is covered by Keala Settle, Kesha, and Missy Elliott, and then later by Kesha alone. I'm not a fan of these versions at all. The original was just too powerful. The top two songs that I was disappointed with must say something about Zac Efron. We all know the boy has talent, but his talent was proven to be hard to beat. The Other Side was covered by Max and Ty Dolla $ign. It did not have nearly the same impact as the original. Hugh and Zac just had a certain chemistry that was hard to beat. Zac and Zendaya must have had a similar hard-to-beat chemistry because Rewrite the Stars was also pretty lackluster on the new album. James Arthur and Anne Marie covered it, and it was beautifully done, but it still didn't quite reach the same level for me. Overall, the album would probably receive a 7.5 or 8 out of 10 from me. I love the album at face value. If I had no knowledge of the original soundtrack, I would not be nearly as critical of some of the songs. They all came out beautifully and had great things about them. Comparing it to the original, though, certainly brings it down. I still recommend that everyone gives the album a listen. That's all I have for you today. I'm Abby Perry.
Thank you, Abby, for that show-stopping review.
Yeah, I'm still not into it. Fox is just doing it for the money.
Kind of like those cash-grabbing swine.
I mean, we can only sing along to their songs enough times.
Sing along?
Yeah?
This is the greatest show!
No, take it back to breakup.
Was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Young Anna was nestled, all snug in her bed, not knowing tomorrow she'd meet the undead. How would she survive what this season would bring? Well, that's simple. She'd stab, she'd slash, and she'd sing.
Oh no.
What? Paco, ven. Hacer algo, por favor.
¿Qué pasa?
¿Le ha pasado algo anoche? ¿Tú no viste a nadie sospechoso?
Debían de tener a alguien entre los invitados. Llama a Alejandro y que venga lo antes posible.
Mi hija, déjenme decidir qué hay que hacer. Antonio, vale, ya está, déjame en paz.
No es obra de desconocidos. Tenéis que estar atentos a vuestro entorno.
You paying for that?
He's paying.
Jake, tell me how that sound.
15 years inside, it's funny what you're capable of doing. You know, I always thought there was a code.
Where's Jake?
Honor, friendship, something. But I had what you call an epiphany.
What was that?
No such thing as code, honor, or friendship.
man.
Everybody you love and care about, I'll take them away from you, boy. You're dead, man.
Colossi!
You cut me off. We were so close to having me sing.
That's a good thing. I think we hit our sing-along quota around the second episode.
Dang. But we're a music show, as long as we have the Robs here. They'll always, as the kids say, bring the pop, and then they'll lock it to the hip and the hop.
You're such an old man.
Listen here, you young whippersnapper, all right? If you had a hot potato and had to walk up and down to school in the snow both ways and then eat it for lunch, then you can complain.
It's the 21st century. Get an Uber.
Oh, shut your trap. Goodness, I'm not old, all right? I'm just older than you.
Rob White, take it away before I start learning old people slang. Rob?
If I mention music and California in the same sentence, most fans would have certain artists pictured in their heads. Some would think of the rock band Blink-182, and others might think of the gangster rap of Snoop Dogg and NWA. However, there's this one artist who is making his very own feel-good California sound through the release of his new album, and that is Anderson .Paak and his album Oxnard. The 32-year-old hip-hop musician has been making music ever since he was a child, playing the drums in a church of his childhood home of Oxnard, California, hence the name of the album. After growing up and marrying his second wife, he unfortunately found himself homeless, but that did not deter him from making music because shortly after that, he appeared as a drummer on American Idol. After releasing a few albums, he finally was signed to hip-hop legend Dr. Dre's music label Aftermath Entertainment in 2016 and was also a part of XXL's hip-hop freshman list. So after this amazing come up from Anderson .Paak, he finally released this new project, and man, was it worth it. Oxnard is composed of 14 tracks and features many incredible artists to add to the sound of this project. These artists include Kendrick Lamar, Dr. Dre, Pusha T, Snoop Dogg, BJ the Chicago Kid, Q-Tip, and surprisingly many more. Despite having all these hip-hop artists featured on the album, just calling Oxnard a hip-hop album is a bit of an insult. Yes, the music is definitely rooted in hip-hop, but it has tons of groovy, funky, live instrumentation that elevates the listening experience even more. Although the instrumentation is the main attention getter for the project, the lyrics and subject matter are something to appreciate as well. Songs like Six Summers and Mansa Musa are great examples of Anderson .Paak's boisterous confidence, and songs like Head Low show his humorous side, just to put it lightly. And my personal favorite song, Sweet Girl, showcases his lyrical flow while still having fun describing the different personalities of the women in his life. Overall, this album has surprisingly become one of my favorite albums of 2018. Now, I'm not saying Anderson .Paak wasn't capable of making a project like this, or that his past albums were bad, because they weren't by any means. It's just that this one felt different, but in a good way. It was paying more attention to the actual music rather than the words. And when it comes to hip-hop album, it's a first for me. If you're a hip-hop fan looking for that traditional sound that this era is used to, then you might be disappointed because you will not find it here. However, if you are willing to step out of that mindset and dive into a more instrumental and good feeling sound, then I highly recommend listening to this project. That's all I have for this review of Oxnard by Anderson .Paak. And before I sign off, I would just like to take a little time to thank The Real Deal. I've been with this organization for a few years and I appreciated every minute of it. I want to thank The Real Deal for giving me this opportunity, and I also want to thank everyone who's involved with making this amazing show. So for the last time, I'm Rob White.
Why, thank you, Rob, for that wonderful segment, you young man.
You're still on this, Tyler?
Still on this? Look, my hip. Look, if I had my blood pressure medication, we'd be having a tussle right here, right now.
Very funny. Now let's get on to Tiara Spells with our Haunting Slenderman review.
Oh, God, no, seriously. Does anyone have my medication? This movie's spooky and I need it. Now.
Over the very much needed Thanksgiving break, I spent most of my time catching up on a few TV shows and watching some movies. One of the movies I watched was a 2016 HBO documentary called Beware the Slender Man. It told the story of the 2014 Slender Man stabbings where two girls lured their friend into the forest and tried to kill her as a sacrifice to the fictional internet monster Slender Man. Pretty bleak stuff, huh? I remember hearing this story when it first broke and being shocked mainly at the fact that these girls really believed Slender Man was real. And the documentary went back, digging into the lives of the parents, the girls, and it also discusses the internet culture where Slender Man was born. Now, if I could describe this documentary in one word, it would be chilling. I mean, there's a part towards the end where there's fan art of the two girls shown, and that was creepy and disturbing. But however, just calling it chilling wouldn't convey all of the emotions I felt watching this. It was disturbing watching these girls retell their crimes. It was heartbreaking watching the parents discuss how the incident affected them. And it was bizarre watching Richard Dawkins talk about meme culture. And that's where I found a lot of the weak spots in this documentary, the talk about memes and the internet, and it just sort of reminded me of the embarrassing middle school creepypasta phase that every edgy kid was interested in. But the scary part is that these girls really believed in this. So watching this sort of crossing of internet memes and an attempted murder was really bizarre for me personally. I understand a lot of this information was sort of important into exploring more about what the girls were interested in, how they got these ideas and where they came from, but some moments were just really odd to watch. Aside from a few moments that may have taken me out of it, I thought this documentary was really good. It was interesting and I was invested the whole time. You might even feel a little sympathy for everyone involved during the course of it. The story is sad and bleak, and Beware the Slender Man will make you feel all sorts of emotions. If you can handle this sort of subject matter, then I recommend it. It certainly makes you look at the situation a little bit differently. That's it for me this week. I'm Tiara Spells. See you next time.
Thank you, Tira, for that great review. Hopefully, it'll turn into a cultural phenomenon like Slenderman.
Up next is our shameless plug with Take 5. We've got Matthew Simmons, we've got Tiara Spells, and of course, Nathan Richard. It's going to be about holiday movies, so be sure to check it out.
That's probably my favorite out of those Rankin Bass holiday specials for sure.
The Santa Claus is Coming to Town one, that one made me nervous. Like, I don't know why, it just makes me so nervous. I'm like, all these character models look scary.
The older I get, they just get like creepier.
Yeah,
the penguin
it's
is cute though.
Right,
yeah. The New Year's one is kind of weird.
I don't even remember the New Year's one.
There was like the New Year's
God.
baby or something like that. It was weird. I was like, I don't like the New Year's baby. I just like Rudolph.
It's weird.
So we never found your medication, but we can buy your replacement.
Oh, great. How much?
$1,000.
Ah, capitalism.
How is this going to tie into Rita Ora?
She must have gotten paid way too much for her Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade appearance.
The money should have gone to communism.
Yeah. I think you may have swung a little too far the other way there.
But do you know who is exactly where she's supposed to be? Devin Sticka, of course. She's here with her Rita Ora Phoenix review. Devin?
British pop singer Rita Ora started off in DJ Fresh's single Hot Right Now as a feature in 2012. From there, she made a studio album with 10 tracks called Aura. This includes some of her top songs such as R.I.P. and How We Do. This studio album also included artist J. Cole as a feature on Love and More and will.i.am on Fall in Love. Aura's single R.I.P., released in May of 2012, made the top of the UK singles chart, becoming the first solo #1 for her. Her second single off of Aura, How We Do, was released in August of 2012, and it reached #1 in UK and Ireland, becoming her second #1. Rita Ora has now released her first full album called Phoenix with 16 tracks. This album was released Friday and already has some catchy singles that were released leading up to the album release. With late producer Avicii on Lonely Together and Liam Payne as a feature on the 50 Shades Freed single For You, this was sure to be a great album. Though I think the album is overall very catchy and a good listen for a long car ride if you want some songs that are easily recollected to sing along, there are 3 specific songs that really caught my attention. Track 6, called Only Want You, is one of the 3 songs off this album I could see myself going back to. The lyrics of this song tell how a girl may find herself trying to go out for the night but find herself wanting her old lover and not another one-night stand. The heart wants what it wants, and this song is super catchy. I think it could be one of the top 3 tracks of this project for many. The next song that I could find myself going back to is the last track called Soul Survivor. It's a slower track, but I find the story is what really matters. After a 7-year record label contract with Roc Nation, where Rita Ora was never allowed to make a second album, she dropped the label to move on. She is now with Atlantic Records UK, where she recorded the album Phoenix. Soul Survivor tells how she fought through the legal struggles but came out on top. It's a very respectable song, though it disses her former record label. Finally, the song I liked most on the album was track 10, called Girls. The track features BB Rexa, Charlie XCX, and Cardi B, and tells about Rita Ora's experiences through being bi-curious and then discovering she is bisexual. However, this song received a lot of backlash from the LGBTQ+ community. Rita even had known bisexual artist Hayley Kiyoko attack the lyrics of the song on Twitter, saying, "I know this wasn't the intention of the artist on the song, but it's the lack of consideration behind these lyrics that really get me. I don't need to drink wine to kiss girls. I've loved women my entire life." This type of message is dangerous because it completely belittles and invalidates the very pure feelings of an entire community. However, there are some LGBTQ+ members who are saying this song is only offensive if you take it personally, and that every member of the bisexual community has their own story. Rita spoke out about the controversy, saying that she had no intentions of being insensitive and she only had pure intentions throughout the entire album. She also said she wasn't surprised that people were taken back since she had never spoke out about her sexuality. Coming from Kosovo, she never had the freedom to express how she felt. Phoenix is an album that I recommend for anyone looking for a bop to listen to when they need something to keep them going or want to dance around the house when they're alone. I give this album an 8 out of 10, and I might recommend tracks Only Want You, Soul Survivor, and Girls. Signing off for the last time for The Real Deal, this is Devin with Anestica.
Thank you, Devin. That was great.
You know what Shelby's got a line of movies for us to possibly see?
Tying into the capitalist agenda.
Wait, aren't we all just cogs in the machine?
Are we fueling the capitalistic takeover?
Oh well, if we can't beat them, join them.
Shelby, what do you think?
Hello everyone, get ready because I'm about to give you a rundown of some of the most interesting trailers I've seen this year. The movies we are going to delve into today are Serenity, On the Basis of Sex, and Welcome to Marwen. Serenity is the first trailer we are going to be looking at today, and let me tell you, this one is a doozy. This movie is a thriller as its plotline surrounds a fishing boat captain whose ex-wife asks him to save her and their young son from her new abusive husband by feeding her new husband to the sharks. The kicker of this story, though, is that reality is questioned. Is his wife telling the truth? What was their relationship before this story started? The best part about this trailer is that it answers none of that. It questions the credibility of the ex-wife's claim by having a man come up to the captain warning him not to kill the man. It also has a flash scene of the ex-wife asking the captain if he wants the truth, along with another scene of her waking up with blood on her opposite side of the bed. However, it also shows her husband expecting her body, asking about the scratches on it, and him getting aggressive with her, not believing her explanation. The trailer really plays up the question of what is real and what is not, which is really exciting and cool to see in a movie. Another cool part of the trailer is that it plays up the mystery of Plymouth Island, which is the island the captain takes tour groups to. The trailer shows scenes of a beautiful and peaceful island, then cuts to the captain talking about how he does not remember how long he has been doing these tours for and how the island is responsible for all the weird stuff happening. What weird stuff? I don't know, but I want to know. The trailer is so good at creating exciting, suspenseful moments that makes me want to go see the movie. I want to understand what's going on and what's going on the island. The movie comes out January 25th, 2019, and I will definitely go see it because curiosity is burning through me. The second trailer we will be looking at today is On the Basis of Sex. This movie is based on a true story about the Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. However, the movie follows her when she is still a young lawyer who seeks to bring a case to the U.S. Court of Appeals that would help dismantle and overturn a century of discrimination. Now, I picked this trailer to review because I believe it's important in today's social and political climate. I hadn't even heard of this movie before I found it while just searching for random trailers, which is a disappointment in of itself. Luckily, the trailer did not disappoint me. The best part about this trailer is the opening scene. Ruth is at what I'm assuming is an introductory dinner for her class at Harvard with both men and women. They're all sitting around a table and an old man, probably someone in charge of something at Harvard, stands up and says, "Welcome to Harvard Law School. Ladies, let's go around and report who you are and why you're occupying a place that could have gone to a man." Ruth answers with, "I'm Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and my husband is in the second-year class." When he asks why she is here, she replies with all her badass and sarcastic glory, "To learn more about his work so I can be a more patient and understanding wife." This is great for two reasons. One is that it shows the gender inequality of the time, but also highlights a problem that is still relevant today. I'd need more than two hands to count how many times I've heard men say they would have gotten into a certain school like engineering or medical school if only the schools did not have to accept a certain amount of women or other minorities for that matter. The second is that it gets at the heart of why so many people admire and love Justice Ginsburg today. She's not afraid to stand up for herself and stick it to the man. The movie comes out December 25th. I will definitely be seeing this movie because I think it is important. It shows a woman fighting to be successful in a male-dominated political arena, and maybe along with the diversity of women that got elected in this year's midterms, it could inspire young girls and women to involve themselves. The last trailer we will be looking at today is Welcome to Marwen. This movie follows Mark Hogenkamp. He lost all his memories after he got attacked by a group of men so badly that no one expected him to recover. He creates an art installation that has an amazing town with dolls that serve as people. This serves as a place where he can try to heal and be heroic. The best part of this trailer is that it lets the town come alive on its own. It's not just something Mark created. It comes alive with the dolls walking around the city and interacting. It lets you see what is in Mark's head without him just talking about it. This is so cool because it seems really unique. It's an interesting way to deal with trauma on the big screen that I don't think I've seen before. It will be exciting to see how it works and plays out. The trailer also shows how Mark's built world and his real world intersect. The main people of Marwen are women who have impacted him and helped him along in his real life. The person that represents him in Marwen gets beat up by a group of people. There is also a scene where his doll is getting shot at and the doll yells, "We need more ammo," but then it cuts to him in his own living room freaking out and yelling the same thing. It's intriguing that they intersect so much. The movie comes out December 21st, and I will definitely go see it because it seems like a one-of-a-kind movie. I'm Shelby Deal, and thank you for letting me ramble about movies.
I'm going to have to take Shelby's word on those trailers.
And I'm gonna have to take your word on those capitalists being good now.
I didn't say that. I just said we should join them.
Oof. And on that note, we'll take our final break for our final word.
Oh, come on. Princesses and cartoon characters barf.
Hey.
Whoa! Cool!
You're coming with us, kid.
Son of Ivan Drago, who infamously killed Apollo Creed, appeared today to issue a challenge to Adonis Creed.
Don't do this.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands.
Who is this mean fellow with his skin all green and his teeth all yellow?
Next, I'm promoting you. You will guide my sleigh tonight.
The new live-action Lion King trailer has come out, and it looks pretty cool, I have to admit. I genuinely felt teased about the movie. The CGI is amazing, the landscape looks fantastic, the actors voicing the characters I'm super in love with. I mean, Donald Glover, Beyonce, James Earl Jones, like that is a pretty spectacular cast. But we all know exactly what happens in Lion King. And this isn't the first time Disney's done a live action either. As I'm sure many of you are aware, we had the Cinderella movie, the Beauty and the Beast, Pete's Dragon, and the Jungle Book, and boy is there a lot more coming out within the next couple of years. Mulan, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Dumbo, the list goes on. My real question is why? Why do we need these remakes of films a lot of us watched religiously when we were younger? They told us the story once, and now for some reason making it live action makes the story different. I mean, no matter how many times we see Lion King, Mufasa is going to die. No matter how many times we watch Cinderella, run away from the ball, we know the prince will find her with the glass slipper. And we know that in Mulan, she will eventually save China. I know a lot of people are super excited for these films. I mean, it is really cool to see animated characters come to life as flesh and blood. Or, well, at least in Lion King's case, it's still animated just a little bit more lifelike than the last one. But we do need to realize that these films really are just another cash grab for Disney. We could be making original content, but instead we continue to recycle the same stories over and over again. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to see The Lion King or Mulan in theaters, but I don't think Disney should be praised for doing the same shtick again and again. Now, next up is Tyler with another fangirl session, but this time with a trailer. Tyler.
All right, so while we were away, I have been watching the Detective Pikachu trailer over and over and over, and it got me thinking about the greatest cult that I'm a part of, and that cult is Pokemon. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Pokemon, from the OG Bulbasaur to the brand new Melmetal. And while some of them are not great, Jynx, Sunflora, Garbodor, the majority of them hold the closest spot to my heart. So in weekly tradition, I have chosen my fangirl topic to be the world of Pokemon. Now, let me start off by telling you my favorite of each type of Pokemon, because I know that's exactly what all of you want, and I know it's what all of you are thinking. So, for starters, Grass, Decidueye, Water, Mudkip, Fire, Salazzle, Electric, Minun, Flying, Staraptor, Normal, Slacking, Fighting, Hitmonlee, Psychic, Meowstic, Dark, Umbreon, Poison, Toxicroak, Steel, Bisharp, Ghost, Golurk, Fairy, Sylveon, Rock, Tyranitar, Ground, Garchomp, Bug, Vikavolt, Ice, Weavile, and last but not least, Dragon with Tyrantrum. Now that that's out of the way, we can get into the real Poke-meat and potatoes of this fangirl. Yeah, that was gross, right?
Oh.
From a very young age, my love of Pokemon started to blossom from a sweet infatuation to a full-on love. I wanted so badly to join Ash Ketchum in his journeys in the Pokemon world, and to be given the opportunity to question him on his immortality. The world of Pokemon seems so wonderful and fun, and the adventures our heroes embark on remind me every day that I don't have the Luxray of living in the Pokemon world. However, with the new Detective Pikachu movie coming out, my soul has been filled by being able to see my Pokemon pals in the real world, and it makes me want a VR Pokemon right now. Get on it, Nintendo. I mean, come on. It's right there in your grasp. Now, what even makes Pokemon so great? Why is this the biggest cult in the world? Maybe it's the anime with the characters like Brock, Ash, Misty, May, Clement, Bonnie, and all the others, and their adventures with all of the Pokemon in their world. The dedication the creators put into this franchise, from the anime with the heart, to the games with the fun and lore, to the toys and the t-shirts, and even the protein named after Pikachu. Pokemon is in everything, and it's such a joyous and peaceful thing, which is very ironic that a series about making creatures fight could bring such peace. I mean, everyone, to some degree, loves Pokemon. Everyone has a favorite, and anyone who says they don't like Pokemon is just lying to you. Or maybe they're lying to themselves. Now, I think what draws me into the world is the designs of these creatures and the designs of their worlds. They are both so full of life, and every step in every region is a feeling of pure euphoria. Whatever anyone's reason for loving Pokemon is without a doubt a part of everyone's lives. And I'm just gonna say it. If we find a way to bring Pokemon into the real world, well, that would just be fine with me. Even if it would destroy everyone and everything. Totally worth it.
I do have to say, I do have a favorite Pokemon. Mine is Sableye, so.
Very cool,
Just
very cool.
little tidbit in there. Anyways, that'll wrap us up for the penultimate episode for the semester.
Oh no, but I want more episodes.
And you'll get them. But until then, check out our Facebook, Twitter, and website for all things entertainment here at The Real Deal. I'm your host, Anastasia Scott.
And I'm Tyler Landis. Catch us next time on The Real Deal.